Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back. Thank you so much, everybody that's been continuing to pull up and watch the show. Welcome back to Talking Swish, where we talk a whole lot of swish. With me, as always, the brains behind the operation, the looks behind the operation, the man in the yellow beanie, Mr. Sam Allen. Sammy, what's good?
Man, good to be back, man. We took a little break. Good to be back.
Been a long time. We shouldn't have left you. But it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait because we got Clout on the phone.
Oh, man.
Got Clout on the phone today.
Oh, man.
International. Okay, one of the sweetest, smoothest shooters you've ever seen in your life. The pride of Florida. The pride of North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina.
Man, a little bit of everywhere.
He's been everywhere. He's the pride of UC Santa Barbara as well. He's Mr. International. He's coached in Europe, in China. He's got people in different area codes. Rumor has it he was one of the original founders of SpaceX. I made that up. But anyway, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. None other than Mr. Trevor Bing. What's going on?
Hey, man. Fellas, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. It's humbling, and I'm excited, man. I want to get into it. I think I got a lot to talk about, and I'm ready for it, man.
Man, thank you so much for joining the show. Give a little bit of context. You and I met playing D1 ball at UC Santa Barbara. Grew up in Florida. Went to JUCO in North Carolina. Grinded your way to the D1 spot.
Man.
Played at UCSB. Trained young players to become stars. Trained professional players. Trained NBA players. Coached in Europe and coached in China. And have a hell of a basketball resume and also just international experience similar to me and able to kind of relay a lot of stories of the game here. So we'll give that context and then the rest folks can learn throughout this show, man. So first and foremost, I really want to ask you, when did your basketball journey begin?
Man, as a kid, really, I think that the focus came around high school. You know, I played through sports all the way up until, you know, my freshman year of high school. I was baseball, basketball, and soccer, and I really felt like I was going to play all three. Travel baseball, I was in club soccer, AAU basketball. That's just what I knew. And then freshman year, my basketball coach kind of went to me and was like, yeah, you bro have to make a decision. Like, you know what I mean? Like what you really want to do. And so it was hoops for me. Like that was always the one I was most drawn to. And then my big brother, who I looked up to growing up, that's what he made his focus because he was baseball, basketball, and he left off baseball to hoops. So I was like, shoot, it's only right that I do the same. And then from there, man, it was just coming from where I'm from. It was a grind. It was a journey, but you know, you got to go through it sometimes.
Facts.
Absolutely. How do you think that foundation of different sports really aided you on your basketball career? I mean, that's a pretty unique mix. It's usually, you know, football right into basketball, a little bit more refined, but those are a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just definitely kept me in shape year round. You know, you never out of shape. You know, I know you guys, West Coast guys, y'all got good weather with, you know, that humidity down in Florida is a little bit different. And so when you are playing two outside sports and you become used to that, you know, it's 98, 99 and the humidity is unearthly, but you get used to it. It kind of, you know, there's a reason why they say that the athletes come from Florida. That's really why, you know what I mean? I think quickness, speed, and the strength advantage, I didn't think was really a thing because everyone around that you play with is the same thing. And then you kind of get outside your area and you play a little bit and you like, I got to step on this guy. You know, I got to step on this guy. And I think that had a lot to do with it. You know, those sports, the playing in the atmosphere in Florida, that just kind of gave me an edge.
Had you not chose basketball, which sport do you think you would have pursued, you know, even further?
Baseball. Yeah, baseball. I could play anywhere on the diamond. I like to think I can pitch, but as I got older, them like to really pitch, like them dudes like have special arms. But a third base, shortstop. I used to bat second in the lineup. I can get on base and then just have it. because if you know what I mean, you can get it outside that, and I'm gone. You know, if you lacking to catch a lacking, I'm stealing. So it would have been baseball for sure.
I love that.
Did you play AAU growing up?
AAU basketball, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was man, those were the good old days, man. That AAU travel ball, man. That's where that's it. That was life, man.
Yeah.
The long weekends. Al, you can probably relate the flex when your parents get you out of school early.
Oh yeah.
You
But I
know what I
still owe my
mean?
parents gas money. You know, they came back and was like, look, that was a lot of trips.
Yeah,
They held that over my head for a minute.
man, you need that, you know. And honestly, man, as I got older, AAU became like the really first dose of kind of being humble, really, on the basketball court. Because when you in your area, when you young, and people know you as one of the better players in your area, you start to feel like you really, oh man, I'm the man, because your world is your area. You don't know, right? And
Right.
then we would go to for us it was Orlando, Disney Wild World of Sports, and we played in the Nationals for the first time. I think I was like, I don't even know, maybe 12, 13. We played a team from California, funny enough, and we played some boys from Ohio, and that was our first dose of a whooping. Like one of them, like, we blaming the refs, we blaming the rims, we hot, like because we ain't never been beat like that before. Like in our area and a lot of teams in Florida, we were the main ones. We was like, yeah, we doing this. And then you get out there and then you get older, you like, oh, there's dudes that do what I do, but he's 6'9", right? And it kind of like, that's the first dose where you like, okay, I gotta really, I gotta lock in and find my niche, because this ain't the cakewalk you think it is locally. You know what I mean?
All right, yeah, I got a question from you just from knowing you really well, man.
Yeah.
Your brother is a big time basketball player, big time athlete, played
Yeah.
professionally overseas. I'm curious too, while we're talking about high school years, was that a part of your rep? Did you feel ever like you were in his shadow, or did you get
Right.
love for being a being like, oh man, everybody already know Trev because his brother was a problem too?
Yeah. It was it was probably a little bit of both, but it was definitely more love, like way more love. You know what I mean? Just because, I'm a guard. My brother's my brother's 6'7" and was 240 in high school. You know what I mean? Like,
House.
you know what I mean? Yeah, like my brother was like my brother like owns every rebounding record. Like, so that the comparisons kind of stopped, because it's like, how can you compare somebody who's a guard to his brother who were big? You know what I mean? So that was cool that we ain't really had that, but definitely love, a lot of support, them being fans of my brother as a player and as a person. And then seeing me, we went to the same high school, obviously, but from his freshman year coming in, his sophomore year, like, I'm still a little kid, but I'm at every game, I'm running around. So, like, you know what I mean? People in the area kind of had seen me grow up. So by the time it became my turn, it was like, oh, that's the little kid that used to run around.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's the age difference between you guys?
It's 3 years, but it's at the opposite end. So he's February and I'm September.
Okay, so you guys didn't get to play each other.
Yeah, we didn't get to go to high school together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a pretty big, like, formative time in terms of like your experience? Like, you always had someone that you can go up against when you're playing outside or whatever it is?
Man, sometimes I wish I had someone else, because it was just like, man, what? You know what I mean? We in the driveway, it ain't a whole lot of room. Big bro is just standing there.
Yeah.
And we get into it, and when he know little bro might get him, he just go to the back down game. You know what I mean? I'm 140 soaking wet.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, bucket.
Yeah, easy. One more question about the high school period, man. Did he coach you, or did he put you through drills and stuff that he was doing, just in terms of a skill set?
Oh man, he tried to teach me what he could.
Mm-hmm.
But us playing different positions, he really couldn't really show me how to be a guard.
Mm-hmm.
We would train together, we would shoot. It's funny, and we'll get into it when we talk about, me training and coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Where we from, we didn't have like player development coaches.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't really have an extensive like group of people. It wasn't really no resources that we can go to. Like you just go, you go to practice, you shoot, you go somewhere to play, and ain't nobody really show us. So there's a lot that we know now we didn't know. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a whole lot. He offered what he could. We did what we thought the good players did to get better. But now when we got college and after, we was like, bro, we weren't even close. You know what I mean? Had we known that then, we would have really put in work. We just ain't know. But he offered what he could, you know.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I think the skill development really kind of took off in the last like 10 to 15 years. Like, you got the kids right now doing all types of pro drills, all types of college drills. It's like teenagers and 15-year-olds, 12-year-olds. And it's like you said, like the skill development was good. You just could get into a gym whenever you could, and then make the best out of that.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like kids, the age groups that you name, younger, you know, they going to people training 4 or 5 days a week. They go into performance gyms, like, and then retired hoopers see there's an outlet, with like social media to kind of brand themselves. And so it's much more available because people can make money, right? And so it's definitely something that's just taken off, definitely in the last like 5 to 6 years. You know, everybody's training somebody. Some positive, some not so positive, but we'll get into that.
How'd your high school career finish up, and how'd you make the decision to head up to North Carolina for school?
Oh man, high school for me was kind of crazy because my high school coach, you know, good coach, you know, smart guy, but like he was very kind of stuck in his era. So he didn't really believe in like really pushing players to really get anything. It was just he believed that, well, if you're good enough, they'll come find you. You know what I mean? Like he didn't really believe in sending your stuff out. Like he knew 1 or 2 people, right? And so like my school really didn't get a lot of love. We got a little bit, but not really. So it was just hard to get looks. You know what I mean? It was hard. Because we didn't know. We didn't know what we didn't know. So I had first, I don't even know if you remember this, but I had went to Florida Atlantic my freshman year. And then that was a crazy scenario. Coach ends up getting fired. We had Brad Doherty, who had just been fired from North Carolina like 2 years ago, take the job. And he went in there. He put everybody through a conditioning test, ran us dry, gave us a speech, told us to come back. He broke everybody off in groups of 3 and had everybody come back at their time. We didn't know what he was going to do. It was king of the court. And that's how he won. That's how he picked who he was going to keep. So I'm like, all right, let's run it. I show up. Now I'm a freshman. So I come in the gym. I'm in the group with 2 JUCO forwards, 6'8" and 6'7". One of them a JUCO All-American. I was like, all right, well, we here now. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna go how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
So we playing. I get in. I get my first look. That first one fell, and that was it. I cooked him. Brett Doherty pulls me in the office. It was like, yo, we want you to stay, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm planning to do. One of the assistant coaches that was on staff that I coached screen, I got real close with. He saw it, but he pulled me to the side and was like, look, let me tell you this. He's like, he probably not going to keep me. And this is how it goes when a new coach takes over at the program, right? He was like, he telling you all the right things. He's going to go get however many scholarships you got. He's going to get his own guys, and that's who's going to play. And it was one of those hard conversations, and it was just somebody that I had trusted, you know what I mean? Because I ain't really know what was going on. I don't know. And then we kind of figured it out, and it was just like, yeah, let me go somewhere else and start over. Yeah. And I ended up going to JUCO.
Was that a really tough decision?
Yes and no. Because it was the unknown, so you kind of always unsure, but it came from somebody I trusted, and he wasn't lying to me, you know what I mean? So Um, nah. And then the JUCO that I went to was recruiting me out of high school a little bit, so there's some familiarity there. So it ended up being cool. Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was just there for a year. I was one. Then I shook. Yeah.
And then it was straight to Santa Barbara from there?
Yeah, it was Santa Barbara, man. And I never in a million years thought I was gonna go to school that far away from my family in California. I never thought, like, when I first got to JUCO after our first like weekend at a showcase, I had San Jose State was the first school to start calling. And I remember telling my coach, like, man, I don't even know where that's at. I ain't going out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, come on. San Jose State. I'm thinking like, I ain't gonna have no car. Like, nah, bro, I ain't going. And then throughout the season went how it went. I remember Jacksonville offer, I think Charleston Southern offer, Middle Tennessee State was calling, and I was ready to go there. I was like, yeah, we can do that. That I want to go there.
Oh yeah.
I got a call. Yeah,
Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee State, because at the time it was just like it was
No shots.
Yo, Sam out here shooting shots.
No straight.
But
straight.
A lot of people from
I'm just saying Santa Barbara's on the table. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is Santa Barbara's on the table.
But
No
now
shots.
look, that Santa Barbara
That's
ain't called yet. They ain't called. And so like Stock called me. He introduced himself.
Yeah.
And I was like,
out.
Yeah, and I was like, all right. And so we talked for about 30 minutes. He called me like in 2 days. It was just like, man, let's just get you on a visit. Because at this point, I'm like, man, I'm kind of tired of this. Like, I'm probably just gonna go to Jacksonville. I'm gonna go to JU. Because I went up there on a visit.
Is your season already over? You already
played my season's over. Like, this is like in something like, yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna go to JU. I just want to visit. I fried they dudes that's already leaving. I go there and they gonna let me let it rip. So I'm like, we going here. The school was low key in the hood. So I was like, man, I don't know if I want to go to school here, but I might. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a visit. Man, I get on the plane. I ain't never been. I went to San Diego one time when I was 14. That was the only California experience I had. Get on the plane, switch planes, because Santa Barbara Airport is probably a little bit bigger than my apartment. So I get on the plane about to land. I look out the window and see the coastline. I was like, yeah, this probably gonna happen. You know what I mean? Because I was like, yo, it's like that.
How they
I
get
get off the plane. I go to get my bag. Ow. The little tough one goes, do you play basketball? And I was like, yeah. She's like, did you go to Santa Barbara? I was like, no. I say, no, yeah, I'm coming to visit. I was like, and then Stock came and I'm looking around. I was like, yo, this is beautiful. So I'm 75% going. So now,
we got out the airport yet. He
ain't even really got to campus. I pull up on campus. I was like, yo, is this real? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna get you with your host. That's who you gonna be with. He gonna show you around. Like,
who put you up?
What's up?
Who put you up?
So so we go around. I remember we going by the track. He was like, yeah, we gonna look for him. First person I met was P. So
shout out Jay.
You know what I mean?
Previous guest on the show.
Man.
Friend of the show.
Man, JP, shout out JP, man. That's my guy. JP was my host. Me and him was kicking it. We was cooling. And I was like, yeah, we go, you know what I mean? The rest is history. You know what I mean?
And nothing else. Where you want me to sign?
You know what I mean? And so here we are, you know what I mean? And then I came back out. I don't think I met Al on my visit. I met James. I can't remember.
Did you come in the summer? So I think I was in Oakland.
Yeah, I came in the summer. It wasn't too many of y'all on my visit, and then when I came back,
yeah,
the crew was in there. Then once I locked in with the crew, it was like, yeah, we on.
Easy peasy, man. It felt like you had been there already 3 years, like literally weeks.
Man, that's what I felt like coming home.
Than me on campus and stuff. Like you already knew everybody who was somebody on campus. And what'd you think of? We'll touch briefly on UCSB because I really want to hear more about your travels. But what did you think of that season and of San
Yeah, it was a lot of it for me was just so new. Like California, it took, like, you probably don't remember, like, it took me a minute to come out my shell because everything was just like culture shock for me. You know, I ain't really know too much about the West Coast. Y'all got a different lingo. Y'all got a different vibe, a different culture. And I didn't know it. Like, I remember, with Ivan, he was hyped because Keek was on at school. And he took me to the concert hype, and I didn't know nothing. I ain't heard of him. I ain't know nothing. And everybody going crazy. And I remember calling my boys at the crib like, bro, it's weird out here. Like, man, I don't know what.
They got some guy called Sneak from Oakland.
Bro, so it was
a rapper.
It was different. It was just different. The culture shock, and then the basketball side was like up and down. And then, like, I remember, we'll get into the coaching thing. I just remember like feeling like just out of place because I'm like, man, this is just different. You know what I mean? It's hella different, and I'm not used to this. You know what I mean? And I really realized it came from, it really wasn't proper development. I ain't know what I didn't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? I kind of grew up being taught how to play one way. Yeah. And then when it wasn't what I was used to, it took me out of my element. And it was like, damn, I ain't really learned how to really do a lot. It was just, me going off of what a coach told me. But it was love though, man. Y'all boys, as you can see, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna give our age up. We a couple years removed, more than a few, but you know what I'm saying? We still, I come out there for my birthday, like Sam out here. I was telling him I linked up with his brother in China. Yeah. We partied, I just got off the phone with James and Ivan, so it ended up being a blessing, man. Like having people know you gonna know for years.
100%.
Yeah.
To the basketball side, what position did they have you playing, and how did the rest of your career go over there?
Yeah, I was on the wing, man. I was on the wing. I was more like an off guard, depending on, sometimes we played 3 guards, sometimes we played 2. And when Coach Will let me shoot, I like to think I could shoot that thing a little bit, but he had rules. He had rules.
For young people watching the show, would you advise, leaving home? Would you advise playing on the opposite side of the country from your support base?
Yeah.
Or is that less important than maybe just choosing the staff that's right for you? What would you advise after your experience?
Man, when I got into coaching, I would tell my kids, man, go, because you can really look at it either way, but at the end, you're going to have to sleep there at night. You know what I mean? Like, go where you're going to be around some people you're going to like being around. Go, where you're going to be appreciated. And do what's important to you. You know what I mean? For me, I knew I didn't want to go back to like my area. I wanted to go see everything else. Like, you know what I mean? I just always had that curious mindset of like, well, what's it like over there? And so that's why it was end up being great for me. Basketball ain't go how I really wanted to go, but I wouldn't change it for nothing. You know what I mean? Because that's where I was at. But for some people, they can't leave home. You know what I mean? Not everybody can go across the country and be away from their support base, So I wouldn't say don't do what I did, but, find out what's important to you.
Let's talk about, man, how did you get into, training? How did the college career end? And then how did you get into, hey, it's important to me to teach the game?
Man, the college career ended with a with a convo with Bob, man. We talked a little bit after the season, and and this is kind of one of those things that a lot of kids don't know how the college game go. It can be kind of ruthless sometimes, and he basically was just like, I can stay around, but he had told me like, yeah, even with I think it was Cecil was moving on. I can't think who else. He was just like, he had already made his mind up. He was like, I'm not gonna play you. And I was really taken aback by that. I was like, what you mean? I was like, we ain't, like, the season just ended. But he had basically said like his mind, like, I can stay and graduate.
Your junior
So
year?
it was so it would have been my senior. So he was just like, he was like, yeah, he was like, you can stay so you can graduate. And I remember looking at him like, I said, Coach, man, for real, like, you're not gonna let me even compete. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let the best man win. You know what I mean? We had, I think Divine was coming back, Al Aversley was coming back. We had P. So I was like, I know we got some guys. I ain't gonna sit there and be like, yo, I want 40 minutes a game. I want elite. But like, bro, you got to give me a chance to get in there and get dirty with my boys. And he wouldn't. He was basically just like, nah. So
did he have a reason for that? Did he tell you, hey?
He couldn't tell me why. So like, there was a couple times where I was like, I was frustrated because in the beginning I was playing, and then it was just like they cut the faucet off, and I could never understand. I remember going in there like not with an attitude, just asking stop, like, yo, like, what's up, man? Y'all kind of just, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Like, you know what I mean? If I ain't cutting the mustard, tell me.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, it's nothing that you're doing wrong. It's just this and that. And I was like, yo, I was like, you gotta do a little bit better than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta give me like a flat out reason. And so he had brought us some film, and we looking at film, and I was like, well, show me what I'm doing. And he couldn't. And I remember he said it was one time he brought me in there and was talking to me. He was like, yeah, I know you're a little frustrated you didn't play this Saturday, but you remember in practice on Tuesday, you threw that bad pass. And I remember being like, I said, oh, bro, like it was, yeah, I probably threw more than one. Yeah. But how many other ones was thrown in there? I picked some, I done picked a few off too.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, but I said, and I remember kind of telling that this is when I think he went back to Bob, and I remember like, yo, you ain't got to keep doing this, because if that's what I'm up against, it ain't nothing I can do. You know what I mean? Like, if we have a game on Saturday, let's just say we lost and we had 15 turnovers in the game, but I'm getting judged on what I do through all the week. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to allow someone to throw a turnover in a game and still get love, and you telling me I can't get in because I had one on Monday, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it was just kind of like, all right. So I skated before I really knew what I was doing. I ended up playing down in DR for a little bit, making a couple dollars. It was over DR. I think I went to Finland at the end of the season for a month or two. You know what I mean? Just trying. You know how I go, Al. You just stand by the phone.
Yeah.
So that went on for about 2 years, 2 or 3 years. And then it was just like, my people on me like, yo, you gonna go ahead and finish up that last year you got left to get that paper first.
Yeah, for sure.
Life got real. I had a deal that fell through, and I had to get a job. I never forget it. I was supposed to go to Denmark. Deal fell through, and my agent was like, you just gotta hold tight probably to the December break. And I was just like, till when? It's August.
Yeah.
I ain't got nowhere to hoop. I ain't got no job, and I hadn't graduated college yet. Yeah. That's when life got real.
It got real. I was just going to say, it got real. And to give some perspective for folks watching that are less familiar with the overseas game, what tends to happen is there's massive signings over the summer, training camp in August, preseason September, season October. By November-ish, coaches are starting to make the determination like, hey, do I have the right group, right? Did I sign the right cat? Yeah. And December, around that Christmas break, just because a lot of the players are American, it makes a lot of sense to, if you are going to make changes for the year, make it at that time period. Mm-hmm. Guys are already going home for the holidays, like maybe they end up staying there. Almost everybody is taking some holiday break around that time. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a flood of like other released players that might be a better fit for your club, et cetera. So from that signing period until December, not much change is happening, because even if you know you're going to get rid of a guy, it's like a lot harder to coordinate a new arrival and this and that. So, you pretty much know if you ain't signed by September, October, the latest, nothing's happening for a few months yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So,
I mean, came back, got the job, but you didn't leave the game, man. You stepped into a role pretty quickly where
Yeah. So I got back in school. I was working. A good friend of mine, he actually coaches in the G League now. My guy Ryan Pinone, man, good dude, was coaching at a local private school. And at this point, I was going in there training. So he was like, "Hey, man, can you come practice with us?" All right. So I come in there, practice with the high school kids, whatever, rough them up. And then he started asking me to come to games. He was like, "Man, just come sit on the bench." He was like, "The guys love you. You know what I mean? You know what you're talking about. Come sit on the bench." I was like, "All right." Start hitting me up more. "Hey, Trev, we got practice. Can you help me run practice? You know, what you think we should work on? What did y'all do in Santa Barbara? Like, what do you think?" And that was kind of cool. It gave me something to do. So I started doing that. And I think I ended up doing that for about 2 years. And then he moved on. No, I think he was there 2 or 3 years. And then I had parents from the kids that I was coaching kind of pull me to the side and was like, "Hey, you know, will you work with my son? He talks about you all the time, whatever." And at first I was like, "Nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't got time. I ain't nobody." You know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't on that. Like, I'm still thinking, I'm waiting on the call myself. You know what I mean? I can't entertain that. Kept happening. So I was like, "All right, let me try." And then I got one, they liked it. We started working out more. He told another one. And then they was like, "We locked in with you. We want to train with you." Snowball. That was it. And it grew. So funny enough, I'm finishing school, and 2 weeks before I graduate, I get a call from my agent, was like, "Yo, you want to go play in China?" I was like, "When?" He was like, "You would have to leave the next couple of days." I was like, "Dog, I graduate in 2 weeks."
Yeah.
He's like, "Man, I don't know what to tell you. You just pick it up in the summertime, next semester." I ain't sleep for like 2 days.
Oh man,
Cause I, you know what I mean? Cause it was just like, I had been waiting so long, and like, here it is. I got another opportunity to try to, and I was like, "Nah, let me just," you know what I mean? It was just one of them tough decisions, which like, I'm too close to being done with school. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, we went to school so we can hoop, not the other way around. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, I gotta be done. So I decided, I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on this. Let me be done. Cause I don't know how, you know, Sam, I don't know y'all whole background, but if you ever been up the creek where you sitting around, where you got to go look for a job, and all you ever known was being a basketball player, ain't a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
You get a dose of that, you're gonna be like, "Let me get this degree. Let me figure something out." We ain't doing that again.
Yeah, man. You know, I will point out is like Sam has coached for the last few years at a really good high school program over in San Francisco. And also in the in-between time from the coaching responsibilities has trained, and also used to train me when I was coming home for the summer.
Dope. Okay.
So played ball at UC Santa Cruz. And the reason I say that is, you know, I'm curious too from you, Sam, if you had that when you finished playing, if you knew right away, like you had that desire to work with the youth, or if that was something that you kind of had to wrestle because you had to take off the player cap and then be like, okay, it's time for me now to pay it forward and teach. What was that transition like for you?
It wasn't much of a fork in the road for me. Like, there were no pros, or like I had no agents reaching out being like, "What's next for me?" You know, I kind of knew like the end of my senior year was going to be the end of my basketball career. And at the same time, like, that's how I grew up, was just the older guys, the college guys, the guys from the school, just kind of taking me under their wing, taking me to a gym and working me out. So it was just a natural progression for me to kind of pay it forward, and get back into the gym, knowing like I'm still in really good shape. I can still teach these kids a thing or two, but at the same time, it's just as much for me as it is for them too. Because, you know, when we were working out, like, over the summer, when you were like in between teams or in between teams, some of our best conversations happened during those times. And so it's a real, just like a sanctuary for all hoopers, just to be back in the gym with doing exactly what you know how to do.
Right.
Well said.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Like, so in that y'all area, y'all had that, right? Y'all had, you said guys take you in the gym, work you out. Y'all
Well,
had
at
those
this point we
resources
were,
growing up.
yeah, I'll say yes, but at this point too, we were grown men. We were pros, right? So like when we was in like junior high, it was definitely not that easy to find, people
Okay.
that knew what they were doing and putting you through the workouts. But maybe easier in Oakland than it would have been in Largo or other spots.
Yeah, I would
But it was
imagine.
not, because even the cats that were doing it, a lot of them were charging. None of us had money. We couldn't
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
so so that kind of developed later in our lives and career. And I could at least buy Sam dinner at that point for working,
Yeah. And it was for us, it was like we would just pull up to a community center when there was nobody there. Like now I got keys to the gym. Like I can go like call my boys and tell them to meet me there. We can get like real skill work in,
Right.
focus, just dribbling, just shooting,
Yeah.
play defense for an hour. When they were picking me up, it was like we would just run open gym, whoever was at the rec center, or they would just shag for me and I would try to get up 500 shots or whatever. But now, like, people got access, they got gyms in their garages and they're doing all kinds of skill drills. Like it's just a different animal.
Yeah. No doubt.
I wanna hop into current events because like Trevor is by far one of the most enjoyable people to talk trash with. But before we just wrap on the Dubs and everything going on, will you just tell me really quickly, like, how did you get the opportunity to coach overseas and share with us some hilarious tales from that time period?
Oh man, love to. So I got him. So coaching overseas came, the skill development that I started doing for the area, like I said, it grew. Like, it went from a couple kids to a bunch of high school kids to both, boys and girls and college kids. And then the overseas guys was hitting me. And there's a guy in my area who used to work for ESPN who had been training pros in the area for a while named David Thorpe. And so Thorpe had reached out to me. He's like, yo, I want you to come, work for me and help me doing what I'm doing. So I was like, absolutely. So that, he was training at the time, Kevin Martin, Corey Brewer, who else? Corey and Kevin were the main ones. We got in there. Omer Caskey was another mainstay.
Legend from Israel, by the way, man.
Yeah, super. Yeah.
Legendary status.
Yeah, the dude, Gal Meckel that played in the league for a minute. He was in there. Man, who else used to come in there? I think the Spakes come in there. It's been a minute. What was dude that played with the Spurs, man? Little short, stocky shooter. Anyway, so I worked with him, and he had a lot of NBA connects, and he's always mindful of jobs, and he had plugged me in for one actually in Indonesia. It was like a training thing. It was like grassroots. They got pro ball there now, but I was part of going down there and kind of helping them show like, this is how you do it, this is how you train, this is how you whatever. And that went well. And the dude that plugged that worked for the Grizzlies, and then he plugged my name with someone else, and that was when the China job came. It was a dude was a player director or player personnel director for the Mavericks, called my phone and was like, yeah, I got this job in China. Be a good chance to further your career. You might be some opportunities, whatever. So I ain't gonna say his name because he definitely shot me one. I went out there to, you know what I mean? Because I felt like I'm gonna go out here and do this, and I'm gonna be working the G League or the league. I went out there, did my thing, came back. I couldn't get that dude. We talked on the phone maybe for all of 10 minutes on like 12 phone calls. I couldn't get him to talk to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it set me up though, man. Belgium, Germany after that, but that's kind of the journey. I know you want to get into some of the stories I got.
Come on, give me one. How was living and coaching in China? Give me just one real life story, real rap story for a Florida boy coaching in China, man. How was that experience?
Bruh, it was, when I tell you culture shock, bro, like it was like culture shock. Like you can't prepare for that culture shock. You know what I mean? It's just everything you have come to be used to and get like familiar with is over.
Yeah.
And you gotta adapt. So I give you one. So in my apartment in China, in Beijing, like we're here, we pay our power bill, right? Mm-hmm. You pay your internet, right? you pay it, right? They send you the letter, you pay it, it's all good. If they send it to you on the 1st and you like, oh, it's the 4th, let me pay that.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. Even if you a month late, they'll be, or a couple weeks. Hey, final notice, bro. Look, you owe us some bread.
Yeah.
Not over there. Right in my wallet. So I'm gonna show y'all. So I can't show y'all my ID and all that, but so all of theirs is on cards.
Mm.
And there's places around your apartment where you put money on your card and you plug that in and it gives you power until you spend or you use the amount that you pay for. Water, gas, whatever. My first time knowing that, I go get in the shower. I don't work like 8-9 hours. I'm exhausted. I'm sweaty. So I go get in the shower. Now, Al, look, you know what I mean? I've shampooed on the head.
Yeah.
I got soaked head to toe. Head to toe. I'm about to rinse off, hot shower. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna get to eat. My water cuts off. I don't mean it's off.
There wasn't even no drips going.
Bro, I got like 3 drips. I'm cutting it on and off, panicking. I'm like, bruh, bruh. So I'm standing there just butt naked, covered in soap, in my shower, and can't got no water. So I go to the sink, like, yo, let me just try to get some, nothing. I'm stuck. I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
jeez.
So you take it. What do you do? I sat there looking like just stupid for 5 minutes and just
bruh.
wiped the soap and was just hella itchy and dry. Like I couldn't until the next day where they can put some money on my water card.
Oh man, I did not know that. I never knew that that's how you paid the water bill and all that. That's
I found out the hard way. You know what I mean? Like you might be there a hot summer day and your AC cut off.
Cold world, bro.
That was one I had. So I give you a good one. I ain't never told nobody this one.
Talk to me, bro.
So I finally found a spot to get a haircut, right? Because I had been there like at this point probably like 9 months.
Yeah.
Found a spot to go out where all the foreigners at. Found me a couple clubs.
Come on.
Ooh.
We moving.
Man, so it's hella Africans out there. And it was like, yo, if you want to get a cut, this is where you go. So I go to Buddy. First of all, it was a hike. It was a journey. You got to take a taxi into town. You get dropped off. And then I had to walk like 30 minutes. Found him. It's basically he giving haircuts out of his living room. He can cut though. So I'm like, oh, I need a cut. I got a fro that's all uneven, line everywhere. My turn. So I had the little, it was like a little, at the time, I think we had like a Z, it was like a low fade, like a little Zeke Elliott. I had a little hair, I had a little sponge.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want that. He fade me up, whatever. He was like, yo, you need to put the conditioner on it. You know what I mean? To make your hair curly. So I'm like, the conditioner. So, the conditioner, I'm thinking, like conditioner, you know what I mean?
Leave-in shampoo.
Buddy hit me with the combo of the curl kit.
No.
And the curl, I was like, all right, because he rinsed it out. And I'm like, bro, my hair ain't like,
Did he Detroit red you, bro? And give
you and so
did he give you the slick back, bro?
I'm not done. I never told nobody this. So then he puts like a dye in it to make I already got black hair, bro. Like he gave me like a dye to make it super black. He styled it. I come out, I'm runway ready. Like I'm like, I get back to the crib, scratching my head, feeling kind of weird. You go in the shower and just rinse it out.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm feeling like something not right. I go look in the mirror, like this part of my head's like a little bit swollen.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, 3-4 minutes go by. I'm looking like this part swollen. Hour later, this part is swollen.
No.
So I'm like, I think I'm allergic.
No.
So my head starts to swell. Like, bruh, I'm talking about like, you remember the first Green Lantern movie with your boy Deadpool?
No, bro.
How buddy head was looking.
Yeah, that movie was
Bruh.
hard to watch.
So now it's swollen like midway down my forehead, and I'm panicking.
No.
I'm hitting my people up like, bro, we gotta go to the like hospital. They're like, what's happening? I was like, I don't know. So now by the time they can get to me, the swelling has made its way down to like this eye.
Wow.
So like this eye is like swollen almost shut.
Come on, man. You look like
And
Martin.
like my head is all like just, bro. You know this because you know what it's like overseas. This ain't urgent care.
Yo.
So they come get me. They take me to the closest hospital. It's looked like it's closed.
Yeah.
All the lights are out. Ain't nobody there. It's a desk in the middle of 2 long hallways with one person there with a night light. Dude go up to him. They speak. I don't know what they saying. He's like, okay. He's like, come on, we got to go. I'm like, what happened? He goes, the doctor isn't here. I said, what? Where is he? He's at the other hospital like 3 hours away. We got to come back tomorrow.
No.
I'm like, dog, you can't. Beijing's got 50 million people, dog. There's one doctor. What do you mean he ain't here? So I'm hot. I'm cursing him out. I'm hot. Both my eyes at this point are swollen shut.
Golly.
I had to sleep like that.
No.
I'm panicking. The swelling has made its way down to here. My whole face is swollen. I look like melted ice cream. My eyes look like this. Like, I was like, bro, I'm talking, it's swollen. I'm not in pain, but my head is swollen. I'm like, bro, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not coming back home. I'm about to call my mom, be like, Mom, I love you.
For me.
Like, I don't know what's going on. They take me to a hospital, bro. They finally see me. It's a hella long wait. Yeah. You got to go to like 3 different stations. They finally see me. My head swollen. I can't see. Both my eyes are swollen shut. I got my hand on the shoulder of somebody who's walking me through everything. I can't understand nothing. They had to give me a steroid shot in the top of my butt cheek. They didn't tell me they was doing it. I felt someone lift up my shirt and low-key pulled down the top of my pants. So, you know,
they go buy me dinner
like,
first.
Hey.
You gonna ask me my last name first?
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, no, hey. Next thing you know, I get popped with a needle in my top of my butt, bro. Bro, I tell you, bro, I was ready to, I couldn't see nobody, but I was ready to fight everybody in there. I'm hot.
Bro, it's funny. As soon as you started this story, I just thought to myself, man, the scariest moments of my entire overseas career were when I had to go to a non-American hospital, bro. Like, it was every single time I was just like, I think I'm gonna just leave it broken. I'm cool. Like, it was just the scariest. Like, one thing you want to be able to do is like successfully communicate with somebody that's got a scalpel in their hand, or you know what I mean? Or like somebody that's like going through a drug cabinet. Like, I would like for him to understand every word I say.
And got that needle.
Like, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Got that needle.
Yeah, man.
What were you allergic to? What was it? Did they ever find out?
I wasn't. It was probably the dye. It could have been or the conditioner that he said he put in my hair. Because bro,
made that in the back room with like food coloring and some stuff. Huh?
It low-key looked like it. It wasn't like in like a regular, it was just like in a bowl. Like, he had no whipped up in a bowl and just started with like a paintbrush, started going in my head, bro. So like, it was a mess, bro. Like,
to be respectful though, to be respectful, you were fly. You came out runway ready. He did his part. He just didn't tell you the effects.
Man, for about 2 hours, you couldn't tell me nothing. But after that, bro, that was one of the scariest times, man. I tell you, bro, I deleted all, bro. I ain't tell nobody. I ain't show nobody.
Yeah.
Bro, y'all laughing when I said I look like melted ice cream, bro. I look like a bad guy in a movie, dog. My head was swollen, my eye like this, and I was just sitting
I
there,
keep
bro,
picturing
looking
the
at
scene
myself
from.
in the mirror, bro.
I
Like,
keep picturing the scene from Martin when he came out. He had the knots on his head.
that's what I look like.
Lumps.
Bruh,
With the
oh
lumps.
my god.
That's what I look like, except my
Oh
eyes
my
are swollen.
god.
But I'm telling you, for anybody who go watch this and you have not seen Green Lantern, the first one,
Yo,
you go watch it. You look at the bad guy, look at his
we
head.
Google the villain.
That's it, bro. That's what I look like.
Oh man. So as you can tell, Sam, like Trev has to be a repeat guest because he's just too
Easy.
enjoyable to speak with. But before we get out of here, we got to talk present day. This is what we haven't been doing. We got to start getting your perspective.
Oh man, let's do it.
You're one of the only cats I know from Florida that is like a true, not bandwagon, early on Golden State Warriors fan. Talk to me about these playoffs.
Man.
Talk to me about the Warrior haters.
Man.
Like, what you seeing, man? What are you seeing?
Real quick, man.
What we talking about?
I gotta get it. The Warrior fanhood started when I was in Santa Barbara, man. You and Ivo was the ones that put me on. You know what I mean? So I got a chance to get on early. Present day, I love what I see. I'm not surprised. The experts said, "Oh, the Warriors." Nah, it's really, I always felt like, once we get everybody back, we're gonna be a problem. All the big three missed a part of the season. They came back. Right on schedule, man. A lot of the current talk is Boston and Miami's defense. But it's two things for me. They play similar styles of defense where they're gonna load the elbows in the boxes, pressure you, and then get you to try to drive into trouble. Boston does that very well. Or Miami does it very well. They like to double Tatum on drives because they're gonna load up those areas.
Mm-hmm.
Boston does a lot of things. They switch a lot because they got Tatum and Brown.
Switch everything.
Yeah, which it sounds good, but the only problem is, everybody's got good defense until you got guys that can shoot from half court, literally, right? And so, when you have to start putting two on Steph at a dribble and a half behind half or after half court, and he gets the ball out that double team and Draymond plays 4-on-3, then everybody's defense ain't so good. And I think both defenses are built to stop ISO scores. Golden State don't ISO score. They move bodies and they move the ball. So, we're going to get these boys out of here. Let Luka go on his vacation in 5. Get him out of here, get him started.
Hey, well said.
And then whoever else next, man, we don't get if we locked in 5, but if we need to make it interesting for ratings, we'll get them boys out of here in 6, man. I'm going to go out to the Bay and, hopefully meet up with y'all boys for this parade, man. That's how it's going down.
Yes, sir. One of the few.
I love that.
Hates for, man.
Yeah, man. The hate. What's going on with the hate, man? Why they don't like the Dubs? I'll talk to them.
No, I ask
maybe
them every day, man. What did we do to deserve this? You know what I mean? Steph, a good Christian man. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, he's so good.
Clay ain't got no sense, but we don't let him talk too much. You know what I mean? Now, Dre, on the other hand, he might attract a lot of hate. Like Draymond will get a technical foul at a monastery. So I don't really know. That might be the root of the hate. I don't know. KD did what KD did. We see how that's going for him. So I don't know what everybody mad about. I'm real excited about this Warriors team.
Man, we look good, man. Too much firepower, man.
Sammy, you got some last minute heat for Trev. We're gonna have to cut this one and then bring him back, man, because I had like 9 billion more questions, but
I mean, we got game 5 tomorrow. Should be a good one, like you said. We just hadn't had him healthy all season. It's just fun to watch. Real 14, 15, 16 vibes for sure. Yeah. Just everybody moving, everybody's having a good time. Like it's all one team, It doesn't look like and Steph is a real boy, man.
Thoughts from y'all on Luka, man, and just his future, this playoffs, a lot of people talking about he had a GOAT level playoff, so to speak, but like just thoughts on him and his future in the league.
Man, Luka a monster, man. You can't watch hoop. If you just love the game, you can't look at Luka and not give it up. You know what I mean? Because he got it. You know what I mean? Like he got it. I think just in my personal opinion, for what it's worth, because he's so good with the ball in his hands, he's starting to look like that kind of that Houston James Harden, that OKC Russ, where he's so ball dominant, where his stat line looks great, but it's not always, well, you can't, I mean, Western Conference Finals, but that's the next step. How can he get off the ball a little bit to let other guys contribute?
Yeah, 40 piece in an L is not a good look for any star, but still impressive playoff basketball.
Yeah, no, he can go. He got it now.
Somebody said to me the other day, "Is like, and he's just like a Euro white dude, man, and he's out there killing." I was like, "Well, he's Serbian, so it's a little different."
Man,
my cast that's Euro know what I mean, man. I don't know if any of y'all ever.
Bro, them Eastern Europeans different. Them Eastern Europeans can hoop. They can flat out hoop.
Ask any overseas player about hooping in ex-Yugo, Eastern Europe, or with Serbian boys, by this Montenegrins. I ain't gonna call them, they got some rhythm to them. They got some sauce. They got some heart. Let's put it like that, man. But man, I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate you telling us your story, even the stories that you tried to hide from the internet, because now they know. God, that's funny. And,
hey, look, man, if I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna tell them to y'all.
We're gonna talk straight. We're gonna talk straight. Just talking switch. You know what I mean? I just appreciate you, man. Appreciate you mostly too for like being one of the brothers that didn't just make money off of the game and get paid to play, but also pays everything that he learned forward and is really trying to take care of the next community. Both of y'all have done that, and that's something that I really appreciate remembering being a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid who all I wanted to do was hoop and make it pro. Yeah. And if I'd have had cats like y'all, anybody telling me what to do, I'd have been doing it all day long. So I know that the next generation of hoopers is in good hands, and appreciate y'all, leading that and taking that torch, man.
Oh man, thank you all, man. It's been a blast, man. I appreciate
y'all
inviting me and having me.
And
yeah, man, no doubt, man. Anytime y'all want to talk to me, man, let me know. I appreciate y'all having me.
Much love, man.
Good.
That's Trevor Bing. This is Sam Allen. I'm Al Harris, and we talking Switch.